Another non-budgetary control techniques are linear programming, program evaluation and review techniques, critical path method, Gantt chart, and benchmarking. Linear programming. Linear programming it is a mathematical technique that solves resources allocation problems. It is a planning technique that permits some objective functions to minimize or maximize within the framework of given situational restriction. A large number of managerial problems are concerned with the efficient use of allocation of limited resources to meet the desired objectives. The decision making is the most important aspect of any business and industry. Thus, linear programming has become a popular tool for allocating the scarce resources with an objective of making an optimal use of them. The main purpose of linear programming in management is to deal the determination of optimal allocation of limited resources to meet given objectives. The resources may be in the form of raw materials, manpower, market demand, money, and machines, etc. The objective is usually maximizing the profit, minimizing the total cost, and maximizing the utility cost. This technique is very useful in oil refineries, airlines, railways, textile industries, chemical industries, and defense services. It is a powerful mathematical technique for finding the best use of the limited resources of a concern. The next method is CPM, critical path method or critical path analysis. It is a mathematically based algorithm for scheduling a set of project activities. It is based on the perfect time estimation. It is used for optimizing resources allocation and minimizing the overall cost for a given project. CPM can reduce the time for completion of project. It is applicable to both large and small projects. In CPM, two time estimates are made, normal time and expedited time or crash time. The normal time is at a normal cost equal to capital N. This cannot be reduced irrespective of how long the activity completion time is extended. At additional expenditure, however, the expected time can be shortened. The shortest possible time is called crash time and can only be accomplished at crash cost. It is an important tool for effective project management commonly used with all form of project including construction, software development, research projects, product development, engineering and plant maintenance. The next one is program evaluation and review technique PERT. A flowchart diagram showing the sequence of activities needed to complete a project and the time or cost associated with it. The elements of PERT are it identifies the significant activities that must be achieved for a project to be completed. The accomplishment of each activity results in a set of events or outcomes. The next step in developing a PERT network is to determine the order in which these events must be completed. Then you need to draw a diagram, the flow of activities from start to finish, identifying each activity and its relationship to all other activities. Use circles to indicate events and arrows to represent activities. This results in a flowchart diagram called PERT network. Compute a time estimate for completing each activity. This is done with a weighted average that uses an optimistic time estimate of how long the activity would take under ideal conditions. A most likely estimate of the time the activity normal should take and a pessimistic estimate that represents the time that an activity should take under the worst possible conditions. The formula to calculate the expected time is then adding T naught plus 4 times of Tm plus Tp divided by 6. Using the network diagram that contains time estimates for each activity, determine a schedule for the start and finish dates of each activity and for the entire project. Any delay that occurs along the critical path requires the most attention because they can delay the whole project. Next one is Gantt chart. It is a scheduling chart developed by Henry Grant that shows actual and planned output over a period of time. For example, this chart shows the actual and planned output over a period of time. That is, it clearly presents the status about the project completion time along with the ideal period. That the chart provided in the figure shows the detail about the activities involved in making a report using a computer. They are copy edited manuscript, design sample pages, draw art network, review first pages, print final pages, design cover. The major limitation of this Gantt charts are the projects are often considerably more complex to be communicated effectively with a Gantt chart. This chart do not represent the size of a project or the relative size of the work element. Therefore, the magnitude of a behind schedule condition is easily miscommunicated. If two projects are the same number of days behind schedule, the large project has a larger impact on resource utilization, yet the Gantt chart does not represent this difference. All these activities of a Gantt chart show planned workload as constant. In practice, many activities have front-loaded or back-loaded work plan, so a Gantt chart with percent complete shading may actually miscommunicate the true schedule performance status. The next one is benchmarking. The benchmarking is a standard of excellence against which to measure and compare. It is the hunt for obtaining the best practice among competitors or non-competitors, which will provide the best performance. The following steps are involved in benchmarking. A team is formed for planning the benchmarking. This team will identify what is to be benchmarked, identify comparative organization, and determine data collection methods. The next step is that the team gathers internal and external data. The third step, the data are analyzed to identify the performance gap and the cause of difference. The final step is an action plan is prepared and implemented.